Well, the 2.2% decline in GDP in the first quarter's shaken investor confidence. It's also affirmed that South Africa's economic woes are far from over. How does this affect small and medium-term businesses? Well, to help us answer that and other related questions is MD at Business Partners. That's Bierman. Thank you so much, Ben, for your time. Today, I'm almost afraid to ask how the small business sector is weathering this economic storm that we've been for the past few years.
Siki, I think it is a telling question. And I think we're quite concerned. I think the recent 2.2% decline in the GDP rate cannot bode well for small businesses. And I think after the initial euphoria that we had after we saw some better direction and trajectory in terms of our economic growth and economic forecasts being increased every quarter, I think the recent setback does make us, or get us very, very, very concerned. But I think it's important, as Mr. Bierman said, that if civil society and the political or governmental sectors can come together and we can create this new compact, that I think we can create a better environment that will stimulate growth. I think the most important thing is that we need to get new business formation going. Yeah. And those sectors that are really important for SMEs. I think if those sectors can start showing some momentum going forward, I think we will probably see a better outcome.
And which are those particular?
I think tourism, as specifically, we saw the recent depreciation in the rand, and again, that would make us a very, very attractive tourism destination. And I think if we can keep the perceptions around crime and the actual crime rates in check, I think we can probably look at a very constructive plan to increase tourism numbers to our country.
Okay, so in the past financial year, what sort of support have you as business partners been able to give to SMEs, and are you finding that you've been constrained in any way in the past financial year?
It's been a tough year, but I think we were quite pleased with our results. But I think it's important to also recognize that SMEs need much more than just pure funding. Yeah. And we launched a program where we believe that by providing them with technical assistance, specifically in these challenging times, is a key ingredient to ensure their success and sustainability. Okay. And technical assistance provided to them can take on many forms, but typically address some of the weaknesses that SMEs as a rule are typically exposed to.
Give us an example of the type of technical assistance.
You would often find that an SME doesn't necessarily have access to the kind of resources that big companies have in the form of specialized financial management advice or marketing assistance. Yeah. And an entrepreneur often has a lonely journey and needs to be all aspects and all solutions to the business. And often, if you can introduce or facilitate and mobilize additional assistance, specifically on those technical sides, it can actually make a material difference to the success rate of the business.
Now, with your SME confidence index, you did find that there's been a steady rise in confidence, but how long, what's the lag time between a rise in confidence and actual changes, material change in the conditions under which they operate?
That is such a key point that you raise. The trust deficit, the confidence deficit, we saw radical changes since the elective conference in December. But I think our economy, and specifically SMEs, you can often describe as being a boat that takes a while to turn. And we've seen a new direction, but we've underestimated how long it will take, I think, to get the economy on the right path again. And as such, I think it impacts SMEs, and it'll take a while longer. But we're quite optimistic. We think that by the end of the year, we'll see GDP growth and more SMEs doing better, and GDP growth exceeding the 2.5–3% that some people are talking about.
We'll leave it there. Thanks for your time today. Managing Director at Business Partners, that's Bierman.